Part 3 is the final part of this module. In this part, we will look at CVP analysis to be used to help manage operational risk. Operational risk relates to risk of loss resulting from failed internal processes, people and system, or external events. There are two measures of risk that we're going to look at here. First, margin of safety. The second one is degree of operating leverage. Let's revisit Dina Furniture case study as an example of margin of safety. Dina Furniture only makes tables. Budgeted sales 3,000 units. What is the firm's margin of safety and what does that mean? We can think of margin of safety as the gap between targeted revenue or targeted units to sell and the break-even point. It gives you an indication of how much targeted sales revenue or targeted units to sell can drop before reaching the break-even point. Margin of safety is calculated as the difference between budgeted or actual sales revenue or unit and break-even sales revenue or break-even unit. For Dina case study, budgeted sales is 3,000 unit, break-even sales is 2,500 unit. Therefore, the difference is margin of safety 500 unit. What does that mean? Sales volume or targeted sales could drop by 500 units before Dina hit break-even point. If targeted sales drop beyond 500 units, it means Dina will incur a loss. Therefore, margin of safety gives you a feel for how close projected or actual operations are to the break-even point. Still from the same case study, CVP analysis for Dina Furniture, total revenue equal to $300,000 minus variable cost $180,000 equal to contribution margin $120,000 minus $100,000 fixed cost equal to profit $20,000. This calculation is based on targeted sales volume 3,000 units. Break-even volume that we calculated is 2,500 units. Therefore, margin of safety is the different 500 units. Margin of safety 500 units times contribution margin equal to targeted profit $20,000. If we put this information together in a CVP graph, as you can see, break-even point is 2,500 units. 3,000 units is targeted sales. The 500 difference between 2,500 break-even point and 3,000 targeted sales is margin of safety. The second measure of risk is operating leverage. Operating leverage refers to the proportion between fixed and variable costs in the cost structure of an entity. Those entities with a higher proportion of fixed costs than variable costs within their cost structure are often classified as having high operating leverage. The higher the operating leverage, the more a business income is affected by fluctuation in sales volume. Therefore, degree of operating leverage gives us an understanding of the impact of changes in sales on profit. Entities with higher operating leverage are usually more risky because fluctuation in sales will produce higher fluctuation in profits for entities with high operating leverage compared to entities with lower leverage. The reason for this is that higher fixed cost leads to a higher contribution margin needed to break even, which also means more sales need to be achieved to cover the total fixed cost. For example, during the global financial crisis and the COVID-19 outbreak, airline companies were struggling to break even due to their high fixed cost structure. Degree of operating leverage, sometimes we call this as operating leverage factor, can be calculated from total contribution margin divided by profit. Let's consider three firms A, B, and C that each made the same profit level yet different in their cost structure. Firm A, total contribution 200,000, fixed cost 150,000. Firm B, Total contribution margin 100,000, fixed cost 50,000. Firm C, total contribution margin 450,000, fixed cost 400,000. All of these three firms have a profit of $50,000. Degree of operating leverage is calculated from contribution margin divided by profit. Therefore, degree of operating leverage for firms A, B, and C are 4, 2, and 9 respectively. We can see here the highest degree of operating leverage is C, followed by A and B. What if there is an 8% change in sales revenue? For firm A, 8% change in sales revenue times 4 degree of operating leverage equal to 32% change in profit. What does that mean? If there is an increase of 8% in sales revenue for firm A, then firm A will have an increase in profit by 32%. As per the calculation here, if there is a decrease of 8% in sales revenue for firm C, they will have a 72% decrease in profit. But if there is an increase of 8% in sales revenue, firm C will also have 72% increase in profit. So let's summarize from what we've learned in this topic. CVP analysis is an important part of the planning process, and it can also serve as a useful decision-making tool. To undertake break-even analysis and CVP analysis, we need an understanding of cost behavior. That is, cost classification as fixed, variable, and mixed costs. Break-even analysis also involves the concept of contribution margin. CVP analysis can be extended to measure and manage operational risk for the business. Two measures of risk that can be used: margin of safety and degree of operating leverage. That's all from me. Thank you for your time. If you have any question, let me know via email.